promise that I will not be before you long. Amen. Y'all were supposed to say, oh, yeah, right. I want to tell you that, God bless y'all. I want to tell you that God is still on the throne. And he ain't lost his mind. And he ain't left you. Amen. He reminded me this morning that he said, I told y'all that this was going to be the year of the push. And I tell you, right here at the end, we've been pushing. I wish y'all would say something. And so it's something about when God releases a word, if you would go back and read your notes and get them out of the dashboard. Get them out of your little statue and look it up, because he said this was going to be the year of the push and the drive. Amen. And so if you have been pushing, you probably got what you wanted. It's quiet for those sanctified church. Amen. But I'm telling you that it is going to be okay.
Yes, sir.
That was weak. And so I really need you to, I feel extremely prophetic this morning. And I'm not necessarily talking about individual prophecy, but I still feel extremely prophetic. And so we're gonna deal with a whole bunch of stuff. Yeah, I ain't saying nothing. Quinn, is that you? Is that you, Quinn? Is that the Quinster? What's up, baby? You all right? I'm great. I'm great. Glad to see you in the house. Drew, now, I'm driving right next to you on 169. I'm blowing the horn, and you chewing gum, and never looked. What's the deal? Oh, you was praying in the spirit on the Lord's Day? Oh, I wasn't Tupac. Which one was it? Amen. How y'all doing?
Doing great.
Amen. I'm excited about what God is getting ready to do. If you're writing today, are we recording? Yes. Are we recording? Okay, good. I want to recommend that you pick up this CD when it is ready, because I think that we're getting ready to go deep into what's getting ready to happen in 2020. And so I really need you to understand something about seasons and times and regions and territories. Y'all ain't saying nothing. And so it's the idea of God when he starts pulling you into ministry. The idea is that you will end up in the exact place that he wanted you to be in his time. So in 1984 or 1985, he gave me a prophetic word. Now, I was poorer than Joe's turkey. Does anybody know Joe?
Yeah.
And you ever seen his turkey? That's how poor he is. Because it ain't no Joe, it ain't no turkey. But I was told that that I was going to be as a savior to North Tulsa, and that this person saw thousands and thousands of men following me, and how we were going to shift things in this particular region or territory. And that was in I think it was 1985. Now, how many years is that? So 34 years ago, he spoke that to me. So now I was not even, I knew that I had a call in my life, but it was extremely fragmented. Didn't really understand it, didn't really have a mentor, didn't really have anybody speaking into my life. And so it was all by trial and error. And so this journey, it has been full of failures, expectations, failures, and wins. And failures and wins. But you notice we're still here. I need you to understand what I'm saying. And so the time and the hardships that one goes through when God is getting them ready for high levels of ministry, it will your making will always cost more than what you're really called to do, because God is going to get you stronger, get you strong enough to carry more than you are supposed to carry.
Lord help us.
So He will not only give you just this is the only thing that you have to carry. You're going to carry more things than you're supposed to carry for the sake of strength. So I got to get some strength. Say it.
I gotta get some
Say it again.
strength.
I got to get some strength. Now, 2 years ago, some of y'all couldn't deal with what you're going through right now. 2 years ago. Oh, y'all ain't saying nothing. Or 4 years ago, you would have just crashed and burned. But it's something about God asking you to hold on just to another Sunday. There's something about God asking you just to hold on for another 30 days. And then He says, well, hold on for another 30 days. By the time you know it, it's been a year. It's been 18 months. But He's building, He's building me, and He's strengthening me, and He's getting me ready for something that I don't know what I'm doing right now. I ain't got a clue. And so your journey, it is supposed to be wins and losses. Y'all ain't saying that. And so a couple of months ago, Tyrell got laid off. And he said it's my first layoff. I said, that means that you and God. That means that God is doing something. That means that God is strengthening you. Y'all ain't saying that. So it is not that you're going through, but how you going through it. I listen. And so if you right here breaking and shaking and about to pull out all of your hair, and you can't find the cliff in a rock that God has cut out for you, then you're missing this season. I'm watching God make. They cut the cell phones off the other day. Well, it didn't cut off 2 times, but the other day they cut it off. They cut it back on. I don't know how I'm talking about it, but it was nothing but God. So God is he's doing something, or he's changed the track. And so where there was enough or more than enough, now there's just enough or just under enough, but you're still rolling. Y'all got to get what I'm saying. Why? Because God is trying to show you, I can still take care of you if there's not any money. Oh, I wish y'all would come on and go with me. And so, have you noticed you can bind the devil, but he's still moving. Hello. Can I tell you, in a sense, this is like the Garden of Gethsemane experience. God is asking us for another level of death.
That's right. Jesus. That's right.
That's why you feeling pressures and feeling the bills and the pressure of the bills, and the phone is ringing, and you know who it is.
Come on here. We got it.
And you know that God can, but he won't.
Come on here. But he won't. Amen.
But does that make him less God?
Not at all.
No. He wants you just to simply believe him. And so now he's taking your eyes off of your wallet, off of your paycheck. Why? Because it ain't enough.
It ain't enough.
And so now you got to look into the hills from which your help coming from. Your help cometh from the Lord. Say, help me. Come on, say, help my mind. Come on, say, help my mind. My mind. Help my mind. Help my heart. Now I need you to understand something here. Waiting is hard. Can I get at least 2 witnesses? So what is it about waiting that's so difficult? It's the fear of the unknown.
Right.
And us as humans, we got to fill in the blanks.
Right.
We just can't leave the space blank. We got to put something in there. Wish I had a witness. I'm talking about. Well, maybe God mad at me. You know this. That's always I go to. Is God mad? What did I do? What happened? Well, the Bible declares in Ecclesiastes is that there is a time to lose and there is a time to gain. So if you're in a time of losing, can I bless you right now? Then there is a season of gaining coming. If you're in a season of gaining, I can promise you there's a season of losing coming. We gotta think of it all, sing, because he's still God.
That's right.
Y'all are supposed to thank him like that. And so Saul, King Saul, what's the man's name? Saul. Who prophesied? Samuel. Samuel prophesied to King Saul. He said, go to Gilgal for 7 days and wait. Sounds easy. He didn't say pray. He didn't say fast. He said wait. He could have played cards, Nintendo, Xbox. Hello. He could have watched Temptation Island all 7 days. Y'all ain't saying nothing to me. But he didn't. He could have made love to his wife for all 7 days. Right? But the Bible declares as he waited, the people around him got nervous.
That's what it said.
You see leaders, if you watch them, they will make you do something that you ain't supposed to be doing. Because the murmurers will start to murmur. And the complainers will go to complaining. And how come this? And how come this? Now watch this now. In this season, the Bible says that some went home. Some went into the caves. Some went into the thickets. And some were just shaking. You see, all of those people, those are different natures of what sits in a church house.
That's true.
In the time of trouble.
Yes, sir.
Yes, God. Yes, God.
What's went over your head?
Yes, God.
Have you noticed in your own personal life, when it get real hot, the phone stop ringing?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about?
Yes, sir.
You understand? Get in trouble and watch people go to pulling back. Well, because the one is God is calling you into a place to Himself.
Yes, sir.
That's right.
Too much help ain't good. Y'all ain't saying that.
That's true.
I'm gonna say it again. Too much help ain't good.
Right.
When Chris was a little boy, he lived in Kansas City. And so he was a little bitty, little short guy. And so he said, so we were getting ready to leave to go to church. And so we grabbed his hand and he pulled back. Well, in the house there was some stairs. So we got to the door. He said, so he opened the door. He grabbed my hand and went down the stairs. When we got to the other door, he pointed out the door. See, don't help me if I don't need your help. That's what he's telling me. And the Lord told me, He said, watch it. So I opened the door, and so I waited because there was a screen door. He said, so we get to the car door. He said, so when it was time to get into the car, he said, everywhere he needed Daddy.
Come on. I hear you.
I said everywhere he needed Daddy. Daddy was there.
Amen.
Everywhere you need Daddy God, you ought to say. You ought to say. Hello. And so there are some things we can do ourselves. He said, whatsoever you bind on earth is bound. There are some things that you got to do.
Jesus. Yes, sir.
Oh, I know that we seen a fine woman.
Oh, Lord.
Ain't no use to my God help me. Ain't use you saying, God, stop me. Because He ain't gonna do it. I'm going over their head. But there is an internal bargaining system.
Yes.
That we are going to bargain with God. Can I do it at least one time? Can I just look? Can I touch? Y'all ain't said, can I? I ain't listening to me. But God is saying, if you do, what is it going to cost you? What is it? What is it going to cost you if you cross this line? But God, I'm praying. No, stop. Y'all ain't going to say nothing. Say amen for Pastor Tony, Apostle, Mother Zuri, we love you. Are you listening to me? And so in this time of turmoil, this time of trouble, the devil is making us offerings. He's presenting things to us. Do I have at least one witness in here? Y'all ain't saying nothing to me. I want you to be honest. I want you to be ugly honest this morning. If he's offering you something, the devil, and it looks good to you, can I just help you? It ain't temptation unless it has a level of appeal. The devil ain't gonna send you somebody that ain't gonna rock your world. I told you the devil is intelligent. Every time you look at a woman, ooh, wow. Ooh, Jesus. Every time. And so she stepped out of your image. out of your imagination into your world.
Come on here. This is reality.
Michael Jackson says she rocks. Are you listening? But you got to understand the time and season which this offering is coming to you.
Jesus. God, that is so good.
That means on the other end of this season, there is a blessing with your name on it, and the devil is saying, come on, disqualify yourself.
Yes, Lord. You're helping me.
Woo. So I got to hold on now. Come on, say, I got to talk to myself. Tell myself, hold on, Sam. Sam, hold on now, hold on. What? Listen to me. I've been doing this a long time. And one of the hardest things in the world to do is wait on God. When he tells you don't touch it, but I gotta touch it. Don't say nothing, well I gotta say something. And so now the battle is an internal battle now.
Now, come on.
The thing that you're waiting on God to do, that's not even the issue any longer. It's can you obey in the wait?
Yes. My God.
It's gonna cost you
Yes, Lord.
what it's gonna cost you.
Yes, Lord.
And it's gonna be
My.
what it is.
Yes.
Hey,
Yes.
listen. I ain't saying that God will always love you. Ain't nothing you can do about that. But there are some things that we should have grown out of by now.
That's right.
Y'all ain't saying nothing to me. Are you listening? And so, watch this. Jesus tells Peter, he says that the enemy desires to sift you as wheat. Now watch this. What he's saying is, the devil wants to go through your life page by page, paragraph, sentence by sentence, paragraph by paragraph, and prove to God that you are not who you say you are.
Right. Woo. You're right about that. Yes. Hear him, please.
So,
Lord God.
in the midnight hour, when ain't nobody watching,
Come on here. What you doing? Come on here.
Yes, that's what I'm talking about right there.
God will say, see?
Yes,
See that right
Lord.
there?
Yes,
See?
right there.
No, I'm not just looking. Hello? That's why we need mercy.
Right. Yes. Yes. Yes.
That's why we got to be merciful.
Yes, Lord God.
Because when the lights go out, the eyes of the Lord in every place behold the good and evil.
Yes, God.
Listen, and so the temptation says, if you're living in a glass house, don't throw no stones. Barry White said, practice. Did you hear what I said?
Yes.
So you are in a season right now of trial. And the question is, are you going to pass this test? See, you notice that he's the same God, Mom J, when he was just giving it to you. He's the same God. But now it didn't get tight. He's still the same God.
Yes, God.
There's a season where he's faithful to you. And there's a season where you got to be faithful to him. And so we are moving into 2020. And say, my heart must be fixed. Say it.
My heart must be fixed.
That's weak. Come on, say it like you mean it. My heart must.
My heart must.
Come on, say it again. My heart must be fixed. Say it. My heart must be fixed. Now watch this. 2020, you are going to see the things of God literally explode. You're going to see the moves of God that you ain't never seen before. Can I tell you that miracles that's been held up for years? See, the stage has been set. Come on. There is getting ready to be breakthrough after breakthrough after breakthrough after, y'all ain't saying it, after breakthrough after breakthrough after breakthrough. Y'all ain't saying it, after breakthrough after breakthrough after breakthrough after breakthrough after breakthrough.
Thank you, Father.
But this is the question. Bishop Jake said, can you stand to be blessed? There's a shifting. See, there's a shifting head in my way. Say it again. See, there's a shifting. Come on, say it. Come on, say there's a shifting head in my way. Say it again. Say there's a shifting. Come on, say it. There's a There is this season and this next season, the things that you couldn't let go of are going to fall off. That's a weak prayer, but that's okay. They're going to, that is going to fall. That you have struggled with, come on, that has been a pain and an ache and an agony to you. It's getting ready to fall off. Yeah, y'all ain't saying nothing. And the thing that you could not do, you're going to do it now effortlessly. You want to praise Him anyhow. That's why the fighting, that's why the blocking, that's why the digging, that's why the light. Because God want to know, are you with me or not? I tell you to give God a praise. Jesus. Hey. That we didn't put away. I said there are some dreams, some desires, some wants that we have put away. God's gonna tell you, go and get them dreams off the shelf. Blow the dust off of it and give me praise. Because I'm God and I'm God all by myself. Come on, that ain't good enough. There is coming a day. Listen to me. Oh God. We all got some trash in our house. I said we all got some trash. I mean something going crazy in our house. There's coming a day you're gonna leave and come back. And that thing, those issues, those attitudes are going to be gone. You can say what you want to say. God is getting ready to turn your house back to a house of prayer. He's getting ready to turn your house back into a place of healing and divine instruction. God get ready to come. I pray that He resides and He lives. You want to do it later. Why? Because God is getting ready to show up. And He's getting ready to move His way around. I want you to praise Him like you ain't lost your mind. I don't know what you come to do, but I come to praise this man. I come to lift Him up. Praise Him. I want you to know that your Redeemer living, baby. He ain't left you. It's impossible for Him to leave you. Pastor John, and I meant this with all of my heart. I said, if the principles don't work, I can't preach it. I said, if this don't work, just leave me alone.
Yeah.
Right.
I meant what I said. See, because either he's with us or he's not. It ain't no in betwixt. Is he with me? Can we just go ahead and settle that today? Is he with you? Is he with you? Is he with you? Is he? Somebody get the baby. Is he with you though? See what's about it? When the devil can take your mind almost to the end, and right before he gives his last blow, here comes God. Wait, that's my baby. I've been teaching him. I've been training him. He ain't gonna let you fail. God told him, y'all's brakes are slipping. We gotta come out of reserve, baby. It's time to go down there real people and get to a sacrificial praise. That's what you've been holding on to. That's one. Go ahead and spend it. Spend it. Spend it. God tells Abraham, take your son, your only son. Take him and kill him.
Come on.
He grabbed his son by his hand. Jesus. They was walking up that hill. And I just say, I see the altar. And I see but I want to know, where is the sacrifice? Rebellion, his only son that God recognized. Now watch this here.
Come on.
Theologians say 3 days they were on this journey. There was a ram that got stuck in the bush. Said he was there for 3 days. You listening? When Abraham went to pull that, God said, hold it. Touch not the child. But I prepared a ram. That's in the bush. That's been there for 3 days. I took all the fight of it. There are some things coming to you that you've had to fight with and argue with and cuss out and kick and fight. The Lord said that the day You mean to tell me that this whole entire season had to do with me growing? You mean to tell me this was about a test to see what I was going to do? Is that what this? Somebody say, that's all it was, baby. He ain't let you. Listen, and if your credit's been hit, he say he gonna redeem the time. Say hush. Say devil hush now. I got a revelation now. And I know what I need to do. I'm gonna press on now. I'm gonna keep pushing now. Even though I might not feel like it, I'm gonna keep on pressing now until my change comes. There's a prayer down in there. I'ma hit my skin in your toe. I'ma pray in the spirit. Building up my own holiest faith. Because I trust God. Somebody tell him yes. Somebody tell him yes. Woo. Boy, you've been used to people leaving you your whole life. Your mama left you with your grandma. Your mama died, and your grandmother died, and your mama and then your mama came and picked you up. Then she left you with your auntie. Your auntie died. Can you see the story? My whole life, it's been me and God. He was trying to tell me, it's been me and you, son. I ain't gonna leave you when you better not leave me. Tell my mom I'm gonna stay with you. I'm gonna hit you no matter what. No matter who comes, no matter who stays, I'm gonna stay with God. I'm not. Please hear me. Please hear me. Please hear me. Trouble comes to make you strong. Yes. It didn't come to kill you. That's right. Come to make you strong. I listen to me. Turmoil is there for a reason. I've been told you. Unforgiveness carries torment. You got it? And so some stuff has got to manifest because it can't go into your next season. Say, wash me, Holy Ghost, wash me. Come on, don't let me go into 2020 with this. Come on. I gotta get it out of here. I gotta get it out of here. If that is ungodly, I give a permission to remove it. If it ain't God, if it's that mountain ain't God, if what I want ain't God, I give you permission. Take it out of here. Move it out of my desire. Because I don't want it to. Now watch this. Say my day.
My day
is coming.
is coming.
That's weak. Say it again. Say my day.
My day
is coming.
is coming.
Now look at me. You ain't never seen money come out of the sky. Huh? You ain't never seen money grow on trees. So that means God has somebody
Yeah.
that's carrying what you need.
Yes, God. That's right. Yes,
Called the Lord told me to call a young man on Friday. He said, call him. Lord say, I'll give you a word for him. Called him. He said, Bishop, 2 weeks the Lord spoke to me. And he said he told me to give you a substantial monthly seed into your ministry. So he'll give him a room for you. Money, listen to me, money ain't gonna rain out of the sky. But somebody got your money, somebody got my money. Come on, say it. That's weak. Say, somebody got what's mine. Say it. Come on, say it. Somebody got what's mine. Say it. Somebody got what's mine. Abigail at home wouldn't bother nobody, mind her own business. But she was married to a fool. Oh, y'all ain't gonna play with me. You see what I say? And the servant came in and said, hey, David is on his way to kill everything that piss against the wall. Everything got a penis, he's finna kill it. Is that the word? I ain't making this up. The Bible said that Abigail. See, it takes wisdom to move through here. Abigail. She got some food and told her servants, deliver the package. I'm right behind you. She fixed herself up. She was dressed. She wasn't showing no Clevelands. She didn't put on a mini skirt. But she went with a gift. The Bible said when she got there, she got off her horse and bowed. She entreated the man of God like she was supposed to. I can't remember everything. She told her the one thing I do remember. She said, you ain't supposed to be fighting for yourself. You were supposed to be fighting the fights of the Lord. She told him, now, go back up. She said, you around here spending your time with a fool. He's a fool. And you're wasting your anointing, come on a fool. You better than be dealing with a fool. Y'all ain't gonna talk to me. It's too much in you to keep arguing, fighting with fools. So then I said to the man, a fool, what is a fool? That's someone who despises wisdom and that will curse you out when you try to give it to him. That's a fool. We gotta stop spending so much time with foolish people. If you really understood the cost of your anointment, if you understood the cost of what it cost you to raise your hands and worship God, I mean, just that right there and tell God you love Him. Why? Come on. Why you being dogged? That cost. She said when she got through prophesying, she said, remember me.
Yes, God.
When you get where you're going, remember me. The Lord will fight your battles for you.
Every time.
So the Bible said Abigail sat there with her husband till they woke up the next morning. And she said, hey Holmes.
Make it plain, Bishop.
Brother man, you almost had.
Come on here.
You almost had a visitor.
Yes, Lord. Yes, Lord.
What are you talking about? Well, David was coming to kill everything that pissed against the wall yesterday. And I took my gift. The one that you don't appreciate, I took that gift. The one that you dog, I took that gift.
Jesus.
And I prophesied. The Bible said his heart failed him. And he died. Now watch this right here. David heard about it. Said, my gift will make room for me.
My gift will make room for me.
Not your cleavage. Not your anatomy. Your gift will make room for you. David heard about the man dying. He said, wait a minute, hold it. Hold it. You mean that chick?
Come on here. The chick, the one. Jesus.
That prophesied to me? Gave me the word of the Lord? Her husband dead? Get my horse. He married her. Oh, that's getting on my nerve. They're getting on my nerve. Say, God got something for me. Say, God got something.
God got something for me.
Say it like you can say, God got something for me. Say, God got something for me. Say it for me. See, y'all ain't answering. I say, He got something for me. With my name on it. I can guarantee you. I get it. I ain't just as to be saying. I'm telling you, if you can make it through this, God gonna rock your world. So that means that you're gonna have to you're gonna have to tie another rope in another knot in the rope. You're going to have to set yourself. Because, listen, if the devil was going to win with you, he would have did it a long time ago. If y'all would just be honest, everybody who would just be honest, you've been through hell and back. About 15 times. Matter of fact, you've been to hell so many times, you know what it looked like. You can't describe it. Oh yeah, I've been there. Oh yeah, I've been. Yeah. Anybody know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
But some kind of way, you keep making it back. Ain't nothing but God. Say thank you.
Thank you, Lord.
That's weak. Say it. That's weak. Say it. Say it, come on. Say it, come on, say it. Say it, come on. I need you to say it like out of your spirit. I need you to give a revelation of what you're thanking Him for. He didn't have to. Think about it. Think about you're thankful. Think about what you're thanking Him for. Think about it. Think about it. Think about it. Woo. When you think about what God has delivered you from, or what He's kept you from.
Yes.
Many years ago, I lived in Detroit, and I was living with Vic. I was finna get this job at Ford. I just had to wait 2 more months, and I would have had the job of my dreams. I want you to hear me. So Vic asked me to drive her daughter to Norman. So we drove her, got on a plane to come back, got on a plane, overslept, and we went to Chicago. I was supposed to get off somewhere, but I got off in Detroit. And it was Chicago, and got off in the wrong place because I was asleep. And so I called and I said, "Hey, of the plane, I missed the wrong. Went to sleep, got off in the wrong place, and I'll be late." And she said, "I don't want you to come back," and hung the phone up. Now I'm there with no money in Chicago. I got kinfolk in Chicago, everybody going on the fishing trip. Why y'all gonna be going on a fishing trip now? So I told her, and so I'm using the principle. That's what I'm trying to tell you. If I don't believe the principle will work, I can't preach it. The Lord said, sow a seed. I ain't got no seed. He said, take that $50 voucher and have them to charge that back to her card. Well then, what's going to happen to old County Cal? So I did it. While I am doing this transaction, I'm telling the woman what happened. And she said, "Oh, poor baby." I said, "I don't know what I'm gonna do." Now there was no soliciting signs everywhere. So I'm sitting in the Chicago airport, sick. So I called my friend Orlando. And so that was back in the day when they wasn't taking credit cards over the phone. This something new, y'all. So he lived in Norman. That means he would have had to drive from Norman all the way to Oklahoma City in about 20 minutes. Wasn't gonna happen. So I said, oh no, Lord Jesus. So I'm fighting anger. I'm fighting pissed off. You know what I'm talking about? But you're needing God, but you're pissed. You needing God to move, you need God to move now. So I went over and sat on this bench, and I just said, God, I give you praise, I thank you. I don't know what you're doing, but I'm scared in hell.
Come on here.
Because I'm gonna have to sleep outside here, and I don't want to sleep outside. I'm in Chicago. I'm sick. I'm hungry. Did you hear that say? So, my name, he said, will Calvin Johnson please come to the Southwest Airlines booth? And I said, man, here we go. They're finna put me out of here. I knew it was coming. And then they probably called the police. No, they never do. They didn't call the police on you. You're going to jail for fraud or something. Something is going on. There's no way to be God. The woman says, Mr. Johnson, I've cleared this with my manager. We're going to give you a ticket.
Yes.
We're going to give you a ticket. Y'all didn't hear what I said. We are going to give you a ticket to get back to Tulsa. Watch this. And the plane is waiting on you. That show is so weak. If y'all praising God for that, that was such of a weak praise. But I want to tell you, on my way to run into that plane, I was I know God is God for real, because ain't no way. Somebody shout glory! Come on, shout glory! Shout glory, glory, glory! If he did it for Calvin, he'll do it for me. Shout glory! Lord, I got so many of them stories. When I was a little boy, I went on a fishing trip with my dad. And so he was cooking on the grill. And the first thing he said to me was, don't go down that ledge down there. That's the first thing he said. He should have said when. So I went down there, down to the, there wasn't no water. I'm just looking. And I took a little closer. A little closer. And something was telling us. I was just so mischievous. I should have been dead. I was still doing it right there. And I slept. And the only thing that saved me was a Pepsi Cola can that was sticking on outside of the dirt. I don't know how I got there. But I was able to take my foot and put my foot on that can. That's why I fell in love with Pepsi. And I crawled myself back up on that ledge. And he said, boy, what you doing? I ain't doing nothing. Don't worry about that. We good. I'm shaking. When I was 4, I climbed a tree in front of my aunt's house. Had asthma, stopped breathing, fell out of the tree. Right before I hit the ground, my mother called me. I stopped breathing several times as a child. Every time I stopped breathing, somebody was there. See how weak that is? I'm a miracle. You're looking at a miracle. I shouldn't be here. I should listen. I should not be here. Y'all don't understand. I should not be here.
Glory be to God. Thank you.
I got story after story after story after story. Did you hear what I said? Because God was making sure that I was going to walk this ministry out. Are you listening to me? Say, I'm super. Human. Say it. Say, I'm superhuman. Say it. Y'all ain't saying it. Say, I'm superhuman. So you got to say it like you mean it. I need you to own it. Say, I'm superhuman. That's what the devil can't stop you. He's done everything he can do to you that he can do to you, but you still put your hands up there and God, I thank you. I bless you. I worship you. You can have my money. You can have my love. I don't hear nothing here. You won't quit. You won't stop. You need to get on the devil's nerves because he keeps coming back. He knocked you down and you get back up. He knocked you down again and you get back up. A little wobble, but they don't fall down. I told you to bless God. Put your hands up and tell God I thank you for saving me, for keeping me. See some of y'all's problem. I know you know that God has been good to you. But you kind of got it. It's kind of your little secret what God has done. Well, I'm going to tell you this right now. I ain't keeping it no secret. Because he said, if you deny me before man, don't say nothing to me. You want to put your hands together and tell God, I thank you. And for you I live. And for you I die. Come on. What I got, you gave it to me. If it had not been for your hand, I would not be here. I was just flat-footed and tell you the truth. God is God. There was a preacher, and he had 3 daughters. He had been on a ministry trip, and so he came back home. And these daughters were ready to see their daddy. So his oldest daughter came up, and he picked her up, and he twirled her around, and he put her down. And he picked up the second daughter. He picked her up. He twirled her around and put her down. We're on his way to the third daughter. His phone rung. He picks up the phone and he's talking to whoever he's talking to. But the third daughter is getting anxious because she's seen her first 2 sisters have their time with daddy. And right when it got to be her turn, it got interrupted. So she starts pulling on his leg, saying, daddy, 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 daddy. So he's trying to push her off because he needs to have this conversation. But she's so adamant about having to have her turn that he can't keep having this conversation because she's not going to let him go. And so finally she stood there with her hands lifted and she said, daddy, it's me turn. I came to tell somebody this morning that you done seen everybody else get their stuff. You done watch them get their turn with Daddy God. the Lord says, for a season I forsook you. But if you just lift your hands and say, Daddy, it's me turn. It's me turn. I've been going through. I've been suffering. But it's me turn. Y'all ain't saying nothing here. I came to tell somebody that the sufferings of this present time shall not compare with the glory that shall be revealed. And so you ought to open your mouth this morning and say, it's me turn. It's me turn. It's me turn. The Bible said if you suffer with me, that you will reign with me. I came to tell somebody I've been going through hell and high water, but it's me turn now. I ain't got no money, but it's me turn. I ain't got no strength, but it's me turn. Because his strength is made perfect in my weakness. And I came to tell you that I know it for myself, that he will. I know he will. He'll make it turn out. He will. I know he will. I've been some places with him. I've been in some struggles, but he will. It's me turn. It's me turn. It's me turn. I've been on the backside of the mountain, making all of my mistakes, but it's me turn. Y'all ain't saying nothing. It's me